Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
Did you know, this is really important, did you know that dolphins are so smart that within a few weeks of captivity, they can actually train people to stand on the very edge of the pool and throw fish at them? It's true. By the way, good morning, everybody. Remember this. You're not fat. You're just easier to see. Here comes Kate Smith and God Bless America, followed by a patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Call in, be proud. Good morning. And a good morning to you. Zeb Bell, Zeb at the Ranch, and of course with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations, saying get ready for wintertime driving. Absolutely. And then don't forget, too, some of our great advertisers like Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. Well, right now let's go to the phone line and have a patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Good morning.
Go ahead, sir.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well done, my dear friend. Thank you very much, and call back later. I appreciate it. Right now, we're going to say a good morning to everybody, including our weather sponsor, and that happens to be K&R Rental. Oh, these people are good. They got the whole front part of their property just loaded with all the different equipment and tools and everything you need to finish a construction project or whatever you're doing. And they've also got all the sewer snakes, right, to help you maybe clean out maybe the lines a little bit that might be clogging up. Ooh. They've got everything over there, and feel free to contact them all the time, anytime, for information on what they have to help you. K&R Rental, 256 South, 600 West of Hayburn, 678-3122. Here's the weather.
Here's your weather as we saddle up and ride again for the final Thursday in November, and honestly, it's going to be relatively nice. Mostly sunny skies for today, expecting a high of 53, a little bit breezy, winds out of the east-southeast. Tonight, 20% chance of isolated snow showers in the forecast, mostly up in the higher elevations, low of 28. For tomorrow, as we kick off the weekend, mostly sunny skies, high of 47, more clouds rolling in for tomorrow night with a low of 30. Saturday, partly sunny skies, high of 50, 30% chance of rain or snow showers in the forecast for Saturday night with a low of 32. That could carry over to Sunday, 30% chance of rain or snow showers in the forecast with a high of 42. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you, Gina. Appreciate a great job in the weather, brought to you by K&R Rental. On the Burley-Paul Highway with Roger and the rest of the crew, they get there early in the morning at about 7 a.m. K&R Rental, don't forget, give them a call at 678-3122. They can help you. Holy cow, Merv May, come on in here. Let's sell some cattle.
All right. Hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to get all our 31 woman and 31.
Oh, that's the chant of, I think, the world's best doggone auctioneer, Merv May, over at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Merv May, Cade Rogge, Lance Udy, the sale that works for you. Sale time this morning at 10 a.m., and if you want sale information or consignment for cattle, 678-9411, the number to call. Here's just a little little bit of a list of, oh man, are they going to have a ripping good sale today with a lot of good calves. The Bedke Wine Cup Ranch bringing in 180 head of 4 to 500 pound calves. K4 Ranch up in Oakley, 100 head of 4 to about 550 pound calves. Joyce Ward up at Malta, hello, 180 head of good ripping calves. John Connor over to Tuttle, 70 head of calves coming in. And we've got Gloria Parker up at Richfield. How is everybody at Richfield this morning? 60 head of calves coming into Burley. Josh Olson up in Blackfoot, 60 head of calves. Taylor Owen of Glens Ferry, 50 head of steer calves. Milo Meekum of Cary, 50 head of heifer calves. Woo, this is a good calf buying day at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 10 a.m. starting time. Hey, and don't forget, on December 11th, Monday, December 11th, it's a Monday, December 11th, they're going to have that big stock cow sale, too, at 12 noon. But don't forget sale day today, 10 a.m., Burley Livestock Commission Company. Hey, Merv, sell those steers.
All right, hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to get $1.31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 5.5, 130, 550, 135, and $7.35. Zeb Bell, get bottom again.
Merv, thank you. We've got a lot of things to remind everybody about this morning. It's a Thursday, a busy day, and your calls are always appreciated on this program. Let me take care of some business real quick. Merry Christmas from Denny's Restaurant at 611 North Overland in Burley, America's Diner. Oh, I love eating there. They got a great menu and super nice people. And teaming up with Lee's Furniture, Floors, and more, Jeff and the crew at 459 Overland in Burley. You know what? You go over there to Denny's for breakfast, lunch, dinner, anytime, all the time. I mean this now. Pay attention. And ask for the box to put in your receipt with your name and your telephone number on it, so you might be the lucky winner of a beautiful Flex Steel men's recliner, compliments of Lee's Furniture, Floors, and more. Jeff and the crew, oh my goodness, and helping us at our big Denny's Christmas party on the 14th. We're going to have the drawing. So get in there today, get your names in there, and don't forget the drawing's going to be on the 14th. Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner. You stop in and enjoy today. All right, calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I want to talk about fraudulent, misleading news in just a moment, right here in the Valley with the Times News newspaper. I'm offended by this, and you should be too. Hold on, I'll be right with you. Don't forget Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Number to call, 678-0459. They open at 7:30 in the morning and go till 5 Monday through Friday for all your heating, cooling, and electrical needs, and all your furnace filters. Don't be chilly. Make sure your furnace is going to work properly and will work properly with better furnace and cleaner furnace filters from Ramsey Heating and Electric. 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. You stop in and see them today. You know, I'm going to put the blame and the onus on the Times News because the way this was written, I think it was absolutely calloused and unprofessional. The headline on the bottom of the first page, the front page of the Times News this morning, if you got a copy, look at it, you can see what I mean. It says in big black letters, President censured for anti-Muslim sentiment. Well, first of all, that didn't happen here in the United States. And they don't mention that in the subheadline or anything else. They just say President censured for anti-Muslim sentiment. I am really getting upset with the media absolutely every day. It's just like they're all with shovels. And every one of them's got a shovel and they're digging a great big grave for President Donald Trump. And I'm sick of this. You know, the whole thing happened. President Trump had made some comments about how Great Britain and how they are absolutely being taken over, and a lot of problems with the Muslims moving in and trying to take over, the radical Muslim purpose and cause. And he was not censured here in the United States, which, by the way, censured means disapproved or strongly condemned. He was censured, supposedly, by May. I'm trying to think of her first name, and I can't think of it right now. But Prime Minister Theresa May. There, I finally thought of it. And she didn't like what Donald Trump had said about the Muslim influence growing and causing problems in the UK. Well, I really couldn't care less what she thinks. And to put a headline in the paper, President censured for anti-Muslim sentiment, that's wrong. It didn't happen here. And then later on in the story, that was written by two really, dingbats with the Associated Press by the names of Catherine Lucy and Jill Lawless, last name accepted, I guess, for her attitude. She said, quoting and talking about Donald Trump, she said, his promotion of the certain anti-Muslim videos came 2 days after he mocked Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren as Pocahontas. Let me tell you something. Nobody could mock Elizabeth Warren worse than Elizabeth Warren. She is a liar. She is a fraud. She is a charlatan, and she is not worthy of holding office. She has used her office for her own personal gain. She has used her lies about her ancestry and her heritage to gain certain positions of respect and honor, and it was all a bunch of garbage lies. So, if the president wants to call her Pocahontas or Princess Summer, Fall, Winter, Spring, whatever he wants to use, so be it. Elizabeth Warren is a liar. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Appreciate your calls. Please give me a jingle. Right now, I'd like to remind you about a really, really nice place, a caring place, and that's the Pomerell Place, a place for senior living. I don't want you to be living alone. I don't want you to be worrying about walking around the house. I don't want you to be not feeding yourself properly with the right nutrition. I don't want you to miss your medication. So, all that being said, maybe you'd better check into Pomerell Place that offers the ability for seniors to maintain their independence both safely and comfortably. Don't forget, give them a call, find out more at 677-8212. A Pomerell Place, a place for senior living at 1301 Bennett Street in Burley. Really nice folks. Caller, I'll be right with you. I got to pay one more bill quick to get everything on the table before I have my next break. I want to talk to you about all the cattlemen. Listen up. Actually, anybody that has horses, sheep, goats, beef cattle, dairy cattle, Keelix supplements. A very, underline these words, very important supplement of vitamins and minerals for your livestock to stay healthy, maintain their health through the winter months. I'll tell you what, Scott Mitten, 435-230-1175. You call him, and he can help you provide what your cattle need. Please give him a call today. They've got the Keelix supplements, which are chelated minerals for better absorption, a variety of formulas to help promote your health in your livestock. Keelix supplements, bit my tongue. And Scott Mitten, 435-230-1175. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Deb. You know, this Angela Merkel and Theresa May are both way, way below their pay grade. They are not leaders, and they take every opportunity they can to blame someone else for their misdeeds. Now, this idea of the Muslims invading them and everything, why is that?
Because it's happening.
They did not have a border.
What's happening is happening around the world, and I am never going to back up on this program, as you know, Keith, and not report the news as it is. The United Kingdom and Germany and other parts of Europe are absolutely being overinflated and saturated with a Muslim problem, with Muslim refugees, a change of their culture, a complete change of the personality of their countries, not for the better, and quite frankly, I see it happening here, and I'm going to stand up and denounce it every time I get a chance.
Yeah, and I only thing I can say is go Trump, go, because I don't think he has made that many mistakes since he's been president.
I don't either, but the liberal media absolutely is incensed with trying to get this man thrown out of office with all these phony and fictitious movements of impeachment. One question I got for you, Keith, and give me a short answer because I'm running behind here and I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to get in. Tell me one crime or one thing that you can think of that Trump has done to be named in an impeachment charge.
Not one thing that I know of. They're trying to say he's got dementia and everything else. They're just throwing stuff at the wall and see if it'll stick.
Yeah, and what you just said absolutely sums up the liberal media and the Democrats. What they're throwing at the wall stinks.
Fake news.
There you go.
And, if it wasn't for people like you and Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity, people like that, they're the only link we have to sanity.
Yeah, I am
The
just...
rest of this stuff is insane.
I really appreciate you saying that because some of the garbage and some of the absolute gutter news that is put out, even right here in the Magic Valley, is absolutely ridiculous because I think these reporters did not spend one single minute of effort trying to really find the facts and promote the facts.
Yeah, why don't they just do their job?
Amen. Got to run, buddy. Thank you so much for your call.
You bet.
All right, thank you. Hey, don't forget Dino's Septic Service. They do the job that you and me, we don't want to do. No. Do you want to go out there and spend an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours pumping out your septic tank? Ooh, no. And how about sewer and sink drain lines clean? How about liquid waste removal? Oh, my goodness. Water and sewer lines installed. They do it all at Dino Septic Service. They are fast, fair, friendly people, and you know what? They really care, and they do such a good job. A job that you don't want to do. And they got that great big old truck that says, Smells Cargo on the way. Call them in Rupert at 436-6526 or in Burley 678-1638. Dino Septic Service, absolutely the best. Caller, stand by just a minute. I've got to tell one other great business here. Thank you. And that's Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. I urge everybody, I don't care if you're young, middle-aged, old like me, be careful out there this winter on the ice, on the sidewalks, or in the driveways or whatever. You slip and fall, and bingo, bango, you might end up having to have a whole bunch of therapy, maybe an operation, whatever. Well, if that happens, I know some people that can help get you back into shape and feeling like you. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Nick Greenwell and all the great physical therapists with all the exercises and the hydrotherapy pool. You give them a call, 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Pocahontas. She's quite something, isn't she?
Hey, Doug, you know what I'm going to do from now on? And I mean this. I'm going to do this purely because out of spite against this woman. I am always going to refer to her as Pocahontas Warren. I'm going to do it, and it's a sign of I do not respect what she has done. I do not respect how she's lied to the American public. I do not respect how she's garnered certain awards and money for lying about her heritage. And so, therefore, I'm going to throw it right back at her permanently. Pocahontas Warren, that's her new name.
Yeah. Well, she refused to meet with a group of Indians that on her
Yeah.
heritage and that.
Yep.
And the other night on Tucker, a guy sent somebody to interview her, and she took the cap off the pen with her teeth, and they tried to get DNA off of it, and there wasn't enough DNA there to gather it up.
I laugh because I saw that segment last night, and it's just really too bad. And Wheels, watch the feedback. It's really too bad that there wouldn't have been enough DNA on the top of that cheap little 39-cent pen that everybody could sit back and just laugh and relish the fact that she, Pocahontas Warren, has made a fool out of herself.
Exactly. That's exactly it. And then who was it a while back sent her a Ancestry DNA kit?
Yeah. And that was avoided.
It was. And then also on that cookbook, Pow Wow Chow.
Yeah.
Where she pledged some recipes. Said they were longtime family recipes.
It goes back almost to the 19th century that recipe was made. And for her to say, well, it was started by, what did she say, her grand aunt or grandmother? I can't remember. It was a lie.
Yeah. I mean, this is the left's, this is their, what you call standard operating procedure.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what they do.
Yeah,
and she does not get in trouble for lying. She has not been brought up on the carpet for lying at Harvard to get a job teaching one class and getting over $400,000 a year for teaching one class, and didn't get the job because she lied on her heritage.
And you know what? When these two Associated Press writers of this story, president censured for anti-Muslim sentiment. Well, first of all, they were very misleading and not doing a professional job when they didn't bring out in the story that it didn't happen here in the United States. It happened over in Great Britain, and who cares? And then also they said later on in the story, his promotion of the videos came 2 days after he mocked Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren as Pocahontas. Well, Elizabeth Warren has thrown her whole self into this fray because she's a liar, a fraud, and a charlatan.
Exactly, and the code talkers, I've seen where a guy done an interview with them, and that one code talker said, well, they made us holler Geronimo when we jumped out of an airplane. He said, that didn't bother me.
Yeah, they didn't jump out of the airplane going, Elizabeth Warren!
And it's really, when you lie, you really create a web. Because you got to tell 10 lies to cover that lie, and then 10 lies to cover each one of those 10 lies.
And you better have a tape recorder to remember where you said it, who you said it to, and what's happening next.
Exactly. My granddad told me when you tell the truth, you do not have to remember anything.
There you go. Hey, I got to run, buddy.
Okay, and one other thing that nobody's touching on is the stock market.
Yeah.
It's over 24,000 today.
Yeah, and you know what? It's a story that needs to be talked about with the personality and the input of what Donald Trump has helped to stimulate the markets. My fear is, Doug, and I was going to have a segment on this next week sometime. I got a guest back in New York City that is a former Wall Street executive. The big fear is I have a real fear that somebody's got a big pin out there that's going to break this balloon.
Well, yes and no. You look at the unemployment, 17-year low.
Yeah.
Consumer confidence, 17-year high. Look at housing is up 8% since Donald Trump was taken office.
Yeah, but there's a negative, Doug, and I'm running so late. I just really got to go, but I'll tell you this real quick. There's a negative with having low employment or low unemployment numbers, and you know what that negative is? The negative is that means there's still a lot of people out there that are abusing and grafting the system for their money on welfare payments, etc., that don't want to work and they don't have a work ethic, and it's going to be a double-edged sword for the employers that are looking for expansion of their business and they can't find the workers.
Yes, and I talked to a businessman here the other day who does concrete, and he says he goes through probably 100 workers before he finds one that's worth keeping.
I have heard this from many people. Doug, I got to go. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
God bless everybody. Let's take care of our senior centers.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hey, I want to remind you Merry Christmas wishes from Vicky's Country Garden at 185 South, 600 West of Paul. Hello, Miss Vicky, and she's got a great idea. Gift certificates from Vicky's Country Garden for next spring. Yes, call Vicky on her cell phone to set it up, 431-5667. Vicky's Country Garden wishing you a Merry Christmas. Also, a very nice message of Merry Christmas from Streamline Precision. They want to encourage everybody to go up to a person in uniform, whether they're a policeman, military person, etc., shake their hand and say, thank you. These men and women put their lives on the line every day so we can live in the best place in the world, and that's America. Thank you very much, and Merry Christmas from Streamline Precision, 120 South, 100 West of Burley. And also our thanks go out to Magic Valley Irrigation, 44 East and 500 South of Burley. And Jeff and the crew thank all the farmers for producing all the food that we eat, and they say a big thank you to all the people that did business with them this last year. Magic Valley Irrigation, Merry Christmas. Holy cow, I am running a little bit late, but your calls are always welcome and appreciated, so give me a jingle on the landline. One thing you need to know and remember is that we are really, really blessed with, let's just say, some extra help right here in the Magic Valley with the urgent cares. You know, I have absolutely the utmost respect for Kyle James and his whole staff of the Riverview Urgent Care in Burley at 382 North Overland in Burley, Urgent Care over in Twin Falls at 2392 Addison Avenue East, and Urgent Care of Jerome at 133 West Avenue A in Jerome. So many things are provided there. I mean, if you cut yourself, they can provide all the stitches. They can help with the sprains, strains, and fractures, chemical burns, care for the whole family, drug screening, DOT physicals. All of this, and they're open 7 days a week with extended hours. Get treated, not seated. No appointment needed at the Urgent Cares. And I'll tell you what, they offer a plan with no premium that can help you manage high deductibles. So please, they're doing their very best to provide health care to you and save you money. The Urgent Cares, Riverview Urgent Care in Burley, Urgent Care of Jerome, and Urgent Care of Twin Falls. Wonderful people working for you. All right, calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Please give me a call. I'd like to hear from you. One other story I wanted to touch on. This one really, excuse me, makes me giggle just a little bit, because this guy that I'm going to talk about quickly, caller, I'll be right there, don't go away. I've always said he suffers from small man syndrome, and that's Representative Luis Gutierrez from Illinois. You know, no matter where he goes, no matter what he gets into, he's always going to try to have his picture in the camera. He's always going to try to have his voice heard on the news. He is a real extreme left-wing liberal. Did you hear that? He might run for president in 2020. Oh, yeah, let's see how far we can throw that rock. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. Just a couple points on Elizabeth Warren. I don't know if you've seen the image that's being portrayed on Facebook of her with a headband and a feather with the caption of City Bull. And unfortunately, I think if anybody's being denigrated here, it's Pocahontas. She was an incredible person who left a incredible legacy. That's all I have to say.
You know what? You bring up a good point. Pocahontas was a person of a great legacy of aiding and abetting the expansion and growth of the West. And you bring up a really good point, but I think that we shouldn't be so thin-skinned that we can't look at certain things with a little bit of humor after 250 years. And I don't care if somebody uses my name as a joke or whatever. I'm not that thin-skinned that I can't just say and laugh at the circumstances and the joke. But, you know, Elizabeth Warren has made a mockery out of her lying about her ancestry with Indian heritage and wearing the feathers and all this kind of thing, and then saying she had this recipe handed down by her grandparents or her great-great-aunt, whatever. I mean, lie after lie after lie. Thank you, caller. God bless you, and Merry Christmas. I guess he's gone. Caller, I'll be right with you. Stand by. I want to remind everybody again, Denny's annual Christmas party, December 14th, coming up in a couple of weeks. We're going to be over there on Thursday from 8 to 11, broadcasting live and direct, door prizes. Santa Claus is going to be there. We're going to have a choir. We're registering for a recliner from Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. You can do that every day. Starting right now, you can get in there, take your meal receipt, sign your name and your telephone number, and you might win a beautiful Flex Steel recliner from Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More, 459 Overland and Burley. Woohoo! A lot of fun at Christmas time. Thank you. Denny's Restaurant and Lee's Furniture. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Yes, I was just going to make the same comment about Pocahontas, except that if you remember in Minnesota, when you were going to college back there, we had an Indian princess in Minnesota whose name probably would fit better, and that was Minnie Ha Ha. Thank you.
No, don't go away. Are you still there? Oh, she left. Minnie Ha Ha. Yes, I remember that. That would be so much more fitting. A Minnesota Indian princess from years ago. Minnie Ha Ha. That is the name. That's what's going to be called right now to Elizabeth Warren. Much more so than Sacagawea or anything else Pocahontas. Yeah. Minnie Ha Ha Ha. I love that. Thank you, caller. Bless you, and Merry Christmas. That's even better. Hey, Barry Equipment at Mini Ha-Ha. That's going to make me ha-ha for a long time, even though on a mini scale. Barry Equipment and Rental, Sales, Service, and Parts. Jerome, Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley with Juan and the crew. Oh, my goodness sakes, they got everything over there. They really do. You can find what you're looking for, skid steer rentals and lift rentals and all the Bobcats, whether you're buying or you want to rent, they've got all shapes and sizes. Everything there to get the job done right. Retail equipment, or I should say equipment rentals, retail equipment sales in South Lincoln and Jerome, Addison Avenue West in Twin, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. The best. And we're going to have Juan on the air later this morning. Barry Equipment and Rental. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, Zeb, you were talking about the stock market and things.
Yes.
A few minutes ago. Well, you want to remember, I'm a little older than you and my parents. The stock market is up 60-70% in 10 months, and that's what happened before the crash, and everybody started jumping out the windows. I mean, it took from the time the stock market was formed till 10 months ago to get it up to 1,500, somewhere around there. Now it's right at 2,500 in 10 months, and that just really doesn't compute. And also unwinding some of the banking regulations that were put in after this last debacle. And sorry about that.
Well, wait a minute. You better turn off your key or something there, mister. I lost you there. Go ahead.
I'm sorry about that. I'm a bad boy. My seatbelt's not on. Anyway, they're unwinding some of these banking regulations that were put in since we had the big failure here a while back. And I'm not very smart on that stuff, but I can remember my parents, my grandparents, when the banks were giving me 8% to put my paper route money in the bank, and my grandparents wouldn't give the bank their money. They distrusted them so much. Yeah. So, and now the banks are giving you nothing, thumbing their nose at you. And the stock market's up to 2,500, and I think the only thing that'll save them is the fact that the windows don't open anymore. They're all one piece, and they have air conditioning, so they can't slip out of them when it goes down.
You know, what you said, I take as a very interesting point that we need to discuss further, and I appreciate your call this morning. God bless you.
Yeah, thanks very much. Have a nice holiday.
And Merry Christmas to you. Thank you.
Okay.
You know, that man just brought up some really good points about the increase, the rapid increase in the stock market. I am not a stock market aficionado. Don't want to be. I've got some stocks, and Deanna and I both went through a lot of loss back in 9/11. And I still have a retention of certain stocks on the stock market, but I have the same trepidation. And I know the experts out there are going to say, oh, no, don't worry about it. We've got all these safeguards. Don't worry about this, that, and the other. I'm going to worry. Anything that goes up, and prove me wrong, has a tendency at one point or another to come down, whether it's a relatively slow decline or whether it's bang, and it's laying on the ground flat as a pancake. I am a little bit more than worried. I'm not denigrating the Trump administration. I'm absolutely applauding them for the faith that has been reinstored in America, American values, American business, etc., all of which has played a big part in the stock market going droop. But just remember, whatever goes up can very easily come down. And I myself, I will not ever put all my eggs in one basket. Never again. Ever. Caller, I'll be right with you. Hold on, I got to pay some bills, and I want to tell everybody about a great big stock cow sale that's going to be happening on Monday, December 11th. Monday, December 11th, at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard. Yeah, buddy, it's going to start at 12 noon, and they're going to have a early preview that morning of all the stock cows. They've got over 200 young cows, 150 middle-aged cows all over the place, and they're now taking consignments of your cows. Call Merv May at 431-5735 or Cade Rogge or Lance Udy. Give them a call for this great big stock cow sale coming up on Monday, December 11th at 12 noon at the Burley Livestock Commission Company. Don't you forget it. Absolutely. You know those guys over at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, what a great job they do. Merv and the rest of the crew. I'm serious. Really good job. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. You were talking about the stock market, and I reflect back to 1987 when Ronald Reagan was president, and the market was at 3,000 something.
Yeah.
And it's just literally devastating. I mean, people just kind of stuck their head in the sand, didn't want to do anything, to get things stimulated again and everything, and it was pretty sluggish there for quite a while.
Yeah.
And then I look at 24,000. Oh, my goodness. I can't imagine the devastation that's going to cause when it breaks.
Well, wait a minute, though. Wait a minute, Keith. When it breaks. Now, let's be real careful there, like I am on this program. Speculation, you're saying that you're speculating that, yes, it's going to crash. Well, we don't know that.
No, I'm not speculating. I know a little sooner or later.
Okay.
I just don't know when.
I never in all my life have been more cautious about my money and my savings and my investments as I have been the last 15 years. And for somebody to come up to me and say, well, put this here, put this there, wait a minute. First of all, it's my money. First of all, I'm going to study everything. And first of all, nobody's going to tell me what to do with my finances. There are too many people that absolutely stick all their eggs, if you will, into one position, i.e. the stock market. And I think that's not only nonsensical, it's absolutely a death wish.
Yes, it's suicidal. And I can tell you one other thing that is the truth, and that is, as long as they've been keeping records, that the Magic Valley right here in Idaho probably has the best record of anywhere in the United States, maybe even in the world, of not having a total crop failure.
Yeah.
That is something to be proud of and shows how resilient this area is.
You know, one thing I did do wrong, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, because I think when you're younger, in your 20s, 30s, and even into your mid-40s, when you are reaping some of the fruits of your hard, laborious labor and enjoying maybe a better lifestyle, I didn't put that much money away. And quite frankly, we all suffer for what we didn't do at an earlier age.
You know, and the other thing that I would like to tell people about, most of your listeners are older and a lot wiser probably than I am. But like you say, don't put your eggs in one basket.
Amen.
That's what I did with my business. I didn't put my money in stocks because I want to know where it is.
Yep.
And so I put it in my business, and we went through some pretty tough times because of that. And the money that I thought was very solid went away.
Yeah, I understand, and believe me, my heart goes out to anybody that suffered a big loss. I've been through that myself. Hey, listen, got to run, do the weather. Keith, God bless. Thank you so much.
You bet.
All right. Hey, let's see. Where in the world am I right now? Did I do that? Yes, I did. It's time for the weather. You get that way when you get older. The weather forecast brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Dr. Christine Pickup, the doctor of audiology. Oh, this lady knows so much about hearing. I really do enjoy going over to her office and asking her various questions about sound and hearing and sound systems and everything. Oh, she knows. She knows. And she's also got Katie Bingham over there, the new patient care coordinator. I urge you, if you're having any diminishment in your hearing, to please get a hold of them today. Right across from the Minidoka Hospital Emergency Room, the number to call for an appointment, 312-0957, Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Right now, here's the weather.
Here's your weather as we saddle up and ride again for the final Thursday in November. And honestly, it's going to be relatively nice. Mostly sunny skies for today, expecting a high of 53, a little bit breezy, winds out of the east-southeast. Tonight, 20% chance of isolated snow showers in the forecast, mostly up in the higher elevations, low of 28. For tomorrow, as we kick off the weekend, mostly sunny skies, high of 47, more clouds rolling in for tomorrow night with a low of 30. Saturday, partly sunny skies, high of 50, 30% chance of rain or snow showers in the forecast for Saturday night with a low of 32. That could carry over to Sunday, 30% chance of rain or snow showers in the forecast with a high of 42. That is your weather for Zevitz Ranch.
Thank you very much, and Gina always does a good job. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, Doctor of Audiology, Christine Pickup, always doing a good job working for you and your better hearing. Call for an appointment today at 312-0957. Hey, don't forget, too, there's going to be a great big sale. This is going to be a neat sale coming up this Saturday. They've got a lot of antique furniture and antique glassware. I mean, they've got an old radio cabinet with radio and alarm clock. They've got old kitchen tables and drop leaf coffee tables, and they've got all kinds of really good wooden old antique furniture and glassware at the Alan Wilding auction, 11 o'clock Saturday, this coming Saturday, December 2nd, located in Gooding at 203 3rd Avenue West, and put on by the Bennett Boys Auction Service. I'll tell you what, Joe Bennett and the crew, call for more information, 539-0111, the Bennett Boys Auction Service. No sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys can sell them all. All right, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Yesterday, I was reading the USA Today newspaper, and on the front page and then also in the entertainment section, they went to great lengths, the paper, to yell, scream, and holler how great it was for diversity in the Grammy Awards. Oh, yeah, we're going to have this person and that person. I made a list of some of the people that are being touted for Grammy Awards this year. I've never heard of them, except for one. Here, Daddy Yankee. Oh, yeah, I've never heard of him. How about Childish Gambino. How about Little Uzi? Or SZA. Oh, I haven't heard of them either. So this pathetic movement to diversify, and by the way, all those names I mentioned are blacks. So to diversify and make sure that they appease the Negroes and the blacks and anybody else of a minority, they left off names of bona fide entertainers that are really good singers, even though I'm not into that kind of music, like Katy Perry and One Dimension and even Lady Gaga. That woman can sing. She did the national anthem at the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. Woo, really good. Alicia Keys, another one. None of them even got a name mention. Diversity. All it is providing awards to people that are wannabes and never wills, but it just makes them feel good. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. I was calling about that stock market. I had a paper here the other day that was 1944. The stock market was 150. And it said bread was 9 cents, gas 21 cents, and a new car was $12.50.
Holy cow. Hold on to that paper. A new car was $1,250.
Right.
And what was the loaf of bread?
9 cents.
Oh, I guess welcome to the good old days. But then again, with money and income, it's all relevant. What are your thoughts about the stock market as of today? Are you as worried as I am that what goes up will come down?
I've got quite a bit, so I hope it doesn't.
So you're out there touting the benefits of the stock market and hoping and praying that this administration can keep things going on a good economy for at least the next 4 years.
Yes, and I thought maybe I'd ought to cash some of it in and put it in CDs.
Well, if you do that, don't forget, just call us here at my cell phone, 312-2976. We'll join you for a triumphant dinner before you lose everything.
Okay.
Okay. God bless you, George. Good to hear from you.
God bless and have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, my dear friend. Thank you. When 911 happened, and it was so sorrowful for so many, but oh my goodness, it was like somebody pulled the rug off the trap door that was wide open and we all fell in. Woo! The losses were absolutely phenomenal. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I did not get a chance this morning to really tell you about another story that I've been working on, and it's becoming so blatant today in various publications and even on television newscasts and radio newscasts about the left, the liberal left, calling for, and I'm not making this up, genocide of whites, Caucasians. Yeah, they want to see us all thrown out. They want to get rid of us. Absolutely. Trample them in the dust. This is insane. If you or I or anyone came out with a written story or even a story on my radio program talking like we are right now, and I said something in regards to genocide of any race or group of people, holy cow, I believe the FCC would be here knocking on my door saying, Mr. Bell, you are now history toast, you're not on the air anymore. They get away with this. They get away with this and keep stirring things up like Black Lives Matter, Antifa, the NAACP. Well, let me just ask you a quick question, and then I've got to go. If all of a sudden all of us whiteys were taken off the scene, what do you think you'd have left in this country as far as nothing but chaos? I believe that. This country would be in total chaos. And work ethic? I don't think so. Don't forget, of course, get ready for wintertime driving with your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you, and they've got the best of tires, the best of everything for your safe driving. Brake service, front-end alignments, shocks and struts, batteries. I'm very, very high on batteries because there is no way you're going to start that vehicle and go anywhere when you hear that click, 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 click. You be sure and get in there and check it out at any one of the 7 locations, because at your Les Schwab Tire Centers, doing the right thing matters. Absolutely. Stop in and see Lane and Rupert, and of course Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. Yes, the best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. The one thing you got to remember, folks, is I still don't understand on this program why we can't just look at a colorless society, absolutely a colorless society, and just treat people and work with people regardless of skin color. I don't know why everything has to be so embedded in, well, that person's this, that person's that. Just forget it. And give awards and acclaim to people on their merits and their abilities. And this diversity of, oh my goodness, we got to have 2% more of these people over here to make this right. Baloney. Baloney. Another word I wanted to use, but I can't. And by the way, to Adrian that called in earlier this morning, mini ha-ha, thank you. Everybody have a mini ha-ha right now. And we'll go to the news and be back in 7 minutes. Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning on a Thursday, the last day of November, November 30th. Good morning, Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell with, of course, our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, and some of our great advertisers like Western Way Services.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Way Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Way Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal. Western Way Services.
You know, get on the route service and they can come by and pick up your garbage. It's gone. It's out of there. No worries. I mean, man, it's so easy. Just give them a call. Tell them where you live and they'll be there. You can almost set your watch by these folks. They are so good and so efficient. Western Waste Services. Always at your disposal. Call them 734-6969. Absolutely. Oh, before we go over to the Chamber of Commerce, I also want to remind you there's going to be a great big Christmas party for you and your doggies, and it's going to be over at Four Paws for the annual Christmas open house party on December 9th from 11 until 2. And if you don't know where Four Paws is, you should learn and remember it, because these are really neat people over there at 370 West, 200 South of Rupert. Free pictures with Santa Claus, with your pets, and good food, a lot of great eating, grand prizes. Oh my goodness, you better get over there and enjoy. This is an annual event, a lot of fun. Four Paws Bed and Bath annual Christmas open house on December 9th from 11 to 2. Don't you miss it. Really good, folks. You know, and when we talk on this program about good folks, I've got to take just a moment and say thank you for the diligence and the personality and the community service of Joel Heward, his family, and his staff at Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. They really care. They care about you and your family. They care when there's the passing of a loved one, and your whole family and everybody is just thrown into such a tumultuous time of what to do, what to get it done in a certain time frame. They can help. They will help. Always with the highest ethical standards, with unquestioned integrity. Please write the number down and call 436-5636, Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. Right now, over the river and through the woods to the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce we go. Good morning, Kyla. How are you?
Morning, Zeb. We're doing great here. Beautiful day outside. Lots to do this weekend. lots to talk to you about. So how are you?
I am good. I wished I had the office that you have where you can sit there at your desk and gaze out at your friend the ducks and look at Mount Harrison and everything. Boy, you got a perfect window right there.
It makes it tough some days because it's really just so beautiful. It reminds me all the time what a beautiful area this is to look out, especially on days like this. And wow, we had a nice sunset last night too. That was sure something. So it's nice to see that. But I better get to it here because we have got a ton of stuff to talk about, Zeb.
Okay.
So tonight, the Polar Express Experience is arriving at the Historic Wilson Theater. They will be pulling into the station there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Tickets for this, there might be some available. I would go ahead and give them a call at the Historic Wilson Theater. You can jump on their website and find out. But this is just such a popular event. Really, really neat. Fun for the whole family. Can't wait to see it. And then also tonight, we just want to remind folks, there is a special Burley City Council meeting. They're going to be presenting the selected site and draft airport layout plan. And this is a public meeting for anyone interested. This is not a meeting of the previously existing task force. That's going to take place at 6:30 p.m. tonight at Burley City Hall. Sure encourage people to go to this and just listen to what they have to say. And then also Saturday, holy smokes, we have just got a ton of stuff. So besides the Polar Express that pulls in from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Historic Wilson, there is a toy drive going on at Stoats Equipment. And if you bring in a donation of a new unwrapped toy or toy purchase, there's going to be, rides on the Polar Express train, milk and cookies, and you can get your picture taken with Santa Claus, which is always a fun tradition for a lot of folks, and that's going to be over at Stoats Equipment in Burley. Just trying to get those toys together for kids that may not get one this year. So it's a great opportunity for your whole family to kind of participate. That's 10 to 1 on Saturday over at Stoats. And then Nature Nursery Market is going to have hot chocolate and cookies, my favorite, 10 to 6 with a celebration of Christmas free live nativity. So just stop by Nature Nursery Market in Burley and remember the reason for the season and enjoy that live nativity that they're going to be putting on. And then also we've got, let's see, at Idaho Water Sports, they're having a fundraiser for the Pomerel Ski Patrol. Rogue Elements is the movie they're going to be showing at 7 p.m. on Saturday over at Idaho Water Sports. Free admission, but there are raffle and door prizes, and the first 20 people through the door who donate $20 receive one free night pass to Pomerel and also some coupons for money off if you buy some things in the store. So that's not a bad deal at all. And I want to remind folks, too, one more thing. The Lighted Burley Christmas Parade is coming up on December 4th. That is a fun one. 6 p.m. starts at Dworshak Elementary, runs along Overland Avenue, and ends at Centennial Park. But they do need you to get your parade entries in. So please do that by Friday. We've got the forms here at the Mini-Cassia Chamber office, so just stop on in. And also just a big reminder, I'm almost out of breath here. Hold on, Zeb. But let's see, the Mini-Cassia Association of Realtors are taking blanket and outerwear donations on or before December 12th at any real estate or affiliate offices in the Mini-Cassia area. They're just looking for new, gently used, or freshly laundered blankets, coats, outerwear will be accepted. That's a great thing. It's getting cold out there, folks. There are some folks that could really use these blankets and also the coats for the kids. So, and then, of course, we've got our Chamber Community Christmas Party. That is a week from today, Zeb, and we are so excited. We're going to have Santa Claus, entertainment, refreshments, 4 to 6 p.m. Everyone is welcome. Stop on into the Visitor Center here in Heyburn.
Is that all you got, lady?
I probably missed something. I know you're sitting there waiting for me to say something, and I missed it. So I apologize if I left anybody out. We're just trying to do 1 week at a time because there's so much going on in our community this time of year. I can't get everything in all at once.
You know, what I liked about that last little bit of segment is it gave me a chance to kind of sit back in my lounge chair, put my feet up, and put a pillow behind my head and say, "You go for it, gal."
I'm here for you, Zeb. That's what I mean. That's what I do. So I'm glad you got a little break there today.
You're the first Chamber of Commerce director, I think, in the United States that when you were a little bitty girl, they vaccinated you with a phonograph needle.
Oh my! I'm going to take that as a compliment. I really am, actually, Zeb.
I'm just kidding. I thought you did a fantastic job, and I had nothing to do except stare out the window. I don't have any ducks to look at, so I looked at a great big ugly old magpie out here.
Well, it's always a pleasure to come on your show. Again, you can reach us at minicashchamber.com or give us a call, 208-679-4793. Lots of stuff going on, folks, so try to enjoy it with your family. You know, get those friends out of the house. Just have a good time this season. The weather is beautiful right now. I know we'll probably get some weather here eventually. And I got to tell you, I am actually praying. Every time we've had this Christmas party, we have had a snowstorm. So I'm hoping next Thursday on December 7th that our Christmas party won't have the big Armageddon snowstorm like we did last year, but who knows?
All right.
Conditions, sadly, so we'll see.
Well, listen, you did a great job, and always take my kidding with a grain of salt and a big smile, and we do wish you and all the folks over there a very Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too, Zeb. Take care. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, take care. Very nice lady, and she has everything right there at her fingertips telling us what's going on from the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, Kyla. I got to pay some bills here. I want to say on behalf of this gentleman, he's been so supportive of our lunch bunch and other activities on this program. Thank you, Doug, at Doug's Alternator and Starter Repair, 635 21st Street in Hayburn. And Doug has been such a community-oriented person, and he appreciates your business. And he says, please remember the reason for the season, the birth of Jesus. Thank you, and Merry Christmas from Doug's Alternator and Starter Repair in Hayburn. Good old boy right there. Oh, I know somebody else that's some good folks over in that same neck of the woods. Matter of fact, just down the street a little bit. Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street near Connection Credit Union in Hayburn. You know, a very serious subject this morning. I had a couple of calls yesterday on my cell phone, and people were saying, what were you talking about, that blue-green algae being very dangerous for dogs? Yes, it's true. Keep those dogs away from the Snake River, because there is a blue-green algae growing right now, which literally can kill. I'm not making this up. It can absolutely throw your dogs into a complete disarray with vomiting and all kinds of seizures, disorientation, coma, shock, everything, and then death. Keep your dogs away from that blue-green algae, and if you have questions, call Ark Animal Hospital at 678-1177. Dr. Bill and the crew, they do have the warm hearts for the cold noses. Really good people over there. In just a few minutes, we're going to have another guest on our program, but while I have a moment, and you'll have to forgive me on Thursdays, it's such a busy time, I've got to make sure I get everything in. A reminder that for your fun outside, don't give up on the outdoors just because it's getting a little chillier and we might have some snow. I tell you what, that's all the more reason to get over to Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World, because they've got all the 2018 snowmobiles, they've got all the four-wheelers, they've got all the side-by-sides, they've got all the accessories, and they've got a great service department to keep you running. Absolutely. Nick, Randy, all the folks over there, they wish you a Merry Christmas, and don't forget to shop over and check out all the accessories and enjoy the great outdoors of Southern Idaho after you go to Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World, and it's true. This is where the fun is sold. Absolutely. Really good folks over there. And in that same neck of the woods, before I get carried away and forget, Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Hello, Todd and the whole crew over there, dedicated and responsive to your needs and very devoted in serving you and finding you exactly what you need for life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, all this and more. And you can solve a lot of the problem by making the initial step to make an appointment, 436-4424. That number again, 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance in Rupert. You know, there's a lot of nice people in the world, and we have a lot of nice people right here in Magic Valley. And I'm going to talk to one of them right now with Certified Pest Control, Kevin Williams. Good morning, Kevin. How are you?
Good, Zeb. How you doing?
You know, I'm doing great, and I want to toot your horn a little bit here for what you've done for us here at Old 4B Land and Cattle Company. We really, a couple of years ago, like a lot of people, we were just being run over with voles and mice all over the place, digging holes around my arena and everything. Holy cow, did you, on behalf of Certified Pest Control, ever do a wonderful job, and I salute you, sir.
Well, thanks, Zeb.
You're very welcome. And now you're doing something very nice for the community on behalf of your business. Why don't you give us a thumbnail sketch of what you're doing?
Okay, so kind of to give you a backstory, last year we did this, and so we did, what it is through my wife's work, and because it's in the medical industry, we can't really, divulge any information because of HIPAA and everything like that. But what happened is they deal with a lot of families that have special needs children in the area. And as many people know, special needs children can sometimes consume everything a family has just to get through the year. And so what happened is some of these families were going to go without Christmas because they were, spending their money on everything else, like diapers and food and medicines and stuff like that. And so what we did last year is they put together a program, and I came in and I helped, with a fairly good donation to help them buy Christmas meals for the families. And then we also put it towards toys, diapers, and stuff like that would help them so that the other kids in the family would be able to have a nice Christmas and stuff like that. And what they did is we had a Santa Claus go, and the Santa Claus with some elf helpers would hand out the goods and stuff that we gave them. Christmas trees and stuff like that.
Right.
And it was really a touching thing because some of these kids just went crazy. They just loved it. And then, the parents were crying. They didn't know, that people were out there really caring about them. And so my wife was saying how they wanted to do it again this year. And these guys forewent their Christmas party to rate, to put the money towards it and stuff like that. And so they were talking about how they wanted to do it again this year. And I said, you know what, I want to amp it up. I want to make it, even bigger. Let's take care of more people and do more for them, and so we can carry them through the holidays, not just through, Christmas.
Right.
And so what we've done is I hate, bugging people for money because everybody's being hit up for money.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's like, wanting donations, especially this time of year. So what I did is I put together a couple deals through our company to where we gave a really good deal on a pest control treatment. And so instead of paying $50, you'd pay $30, but 100% of that money, so nothing is going towards our company, nothing like that. So everything's 100% donated, the pesticide, everything. So 100% of that $30 people spend will be going into the fund to help these people out. And then also we have a coupon, which is a $15 off coupon for $10, and the same thing goes there. So everything we make off these sales through the the next couple of weeks, 100% is going to go. I mean, there's no administration fee. You know how some of these organizations are. There's no administration fees, no anything fees. It's 100% right into their hands.
Oh my goodness, I'm sitting here with tears in my eyes because this is really a nice and very humanitarian way to help others enjoy the holidays that might not be able to afford anything because of the care of their children.
Yeah, and that's why we put that together. And I was just thinking when I was just telling you about this, the funny thing is a lot of people tell you when you're struggling with things, and I really wasn't struggling, but I've had 2 weddings this year I've had to pay for and stuff like that. But I found that when I was really focused on putting this together and really wanting to help people, my whole life and attitude, it was, everything was just going easier because I wasn't worrying about anything that I had to do.
Right.
I was so focused on this and so it's a true thing. When you can just let go and give service to, basically you're servicing the Lord because if you're helping, you're doing His work, then you are, you're rewarded by not worrying about anything else, and things just tend to work out. So
absolutely.
This is like a labor of love. I'm really excited for this, and I'm really pushing it. And no matter what we have come in on this, we'll still donate quite a bit, but I mean, this is just something near and dear to me.
Okay, now here's what I want you to do. I've got a minute left in this segment, Kevin. Give us the number and all the particulars as to how people can call you and find out more and then get involved in this program.
Okay, so here's the deal. So real quick, if you are a customer of ours, you'll be getting an email. So check your email boxes, and then you can buy it online. If you're not a customer, or if you don't have, the access to the emails, you can call us at 208-312-8577. That's our business line, and we can either go through and set it up and buy it, take your credit card over the phone and do that, or we can make arrangements. And then we're also going to try and put some lists together of things. So if people didn't want to buy one of these programs and they wanted to donate something, they can call me at that same number, which is 208-312-8577, and I can give them a list of things, and they can drop it off at our shop here in Heyburn. We've moved locations, and we can get that to the right place.
I'm impressed, and I'm going to be calling you, if not after the program today, sometime tomorrow morning. We're going to try to help you all we can, and I say to you, my dear friend, Merry Christmas and God's blessings for helping the community.
Well, thanks, Zeb. I appreciate that.
All right, my friend. Take care. That man, Kevin Williams with Certified Pest Control, I urge you to call and find out how you can help through him a lot of families that are taking literally every dime, every dollar bill out of their pocket to help their children that might be in the hospital or something, and they're not going to have a Christmas this year, and we can help, and we will help. So call him at 312-8577 and find out more, and I'm going to have more on this next week on the program. Okay? Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that, old buddy. Hey, by the way, Christmas wishes go out from a dear friend of ours, and that is, of course, our friend, Senator Kelly Anthon. He really enjoys being your senator. He really puts forth a lot of effort in making sure that he helps the constituents and follows up on everything they're looking for or information that they need. And he says thank you for making him your state senator, Kelly Anthon, over in Rupert, wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Great guy. Really appreciate him. Okay, let's see what else have I got here. There is going to be a huge, that means really big, stock cow sale at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard on Monday, December 11th at high noon, 12 o'clock. Come early, view the cows earlier, and they're going to have well over 200 young cows, well over 150 middle-aged cows of all ages. This is a big stock cow sale, going to be held right there at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard at 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Get a hold of Merv May or Cade Rogge or Lance Udy. They can give you all the information you need. Don't forget, December 11th, Monday at high noon, big stock cow sale at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard. Absolutely one of the best anywhere. Let's see, what else have I got to tell you about here real quick. Oh, my goodness, I almost forgot my friends at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. I've been mentioning, and we've had a lot of calls on this, people that want to win a recliner. Have I got news for you over at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More and Denny's Restaurant? What's going on here? Well, I thought I'd tell you about it. Merry Christmas from Denny's Restaurant at 611 North Overland in Burley, America's Diner, and Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley with Jeff and the whole crew. Well, they have donated a great big, fantabulous, beautiful Flex Steel men's recliner that we're going to have a drawing for at, of course, on December the 14th over at Denny's Restaurant when I do the annual Christmas party. But you can get into Denny's right now, and you can register by signing your meal receipt, put your telephone number on there. Holy cow, thank you, Denny's Restaurant and Lee's Furniture. And Lee's Furniture right now is a busy, busy place at 459 Overland in Burley. Jeff is really going with the rest of the crew to make sure that really is the centerpiece for Santa's favorite place to shop during the Christmas holidays. They have got amazing items, clocks, mirrors, home decor items, 40% off. Bunk beds starting at just $168. Queen mattresses set starting at just $199. And pillows for only $50. All of this and more with the whole crew. Jeff and LeGrand, Emily, Morgan, Darren, Hillary, all of them want to wish you a very Merry Christmas from Lee's Furniture, Floors and More, 459 Overland in Burley. Really, really nice people. I haven't rung the bells yet this morning. Hold on just a second. I got to get my bells. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bells here. Merry Christmas, and thank you very much. I love this time of the year. Let's see, where am I? I'm caught up, I think, for a few moments, and we're about ready to get the lovely Rita Ramsey on the air this morning, and let's see if she's there. Wheels, is she on the phone?
Yes, sir, she is.
By the way, Wheels, are you having a good or a bad day over there?
Honestly, it's not a bad day. I've been looking out my window over here, and I wish we could be outside.
Even though you were exactly 1 minute and 42 seconds late for work.
Yes.
Gotcha. Anyway, good morning, Rita Ramsey. How are you?
I'm good. There's always the guy that reminds you need to have a bad day
Yeah.
when it started out.
I kid Wheels every day. Sometimes I say, hey, Wheels, how come you took 2 rings to answer the phone? And this morning it rang and rang and rang, and he wasn't there yet. I caught him. I'm going to dock his Christmas present. Anyway.
I hope he didn't get stopped by an officer of the law for one reason or the other.
Oh, they're normally after me. It's about time they shared the wealth. Rita, I don't even know where to start this morning with all that's going on in the news, so I thought, first of all, I would start with Pocahontas, or from now on we're going to call her Princess Minnehaha. What do you think about this mess of the liberal media trying to denounce and discredit and just trash Donald Trump for calling her Pocahontas?
Well, first of all, I think that it probably was a little less dignified for him to do that, but nevertheless, I agree with what he did.
Good girl. I'm glad to hear you say it. Elizabeth Warren, I'll come out and say it. You don't have to say this if you don't want to. Elizabeth Warren has been proven to be a liar, a fraud, a charlatan, and receiving benefits and awards and gratuities that were not worthy of her because she lied.
Well, that's exactly right. And the big problem is there's a double standard because you know darn good and well if that would have been Michelle Bachmann or if that would have been Nikki Haley or any of the women in the conservative side, they would have ended up resigning over some stupid little fraud thing like that. Hillary did the same thing. And she ended up going on to running for president and was never... You know, she didn't care that she lied about the deal in being shot at in Bosnia and, you know, various different things. And she's always got some kind of a lie that she can promote, and nobody ever calls her out on it. And so it's the same way with whether it's Elizabeth Warren or, you know, any of the other ladies. As long as they're Democrat, we can have a pass, but if they're conservative Republicans, no, that won't stand, and you can't lie like that to the world, and they just make a big deal about it until they finally resign and, you know, have lost all credibility.
I've got to ask you, was that clearing of the throat that you did just a moment ago, ladies, was that a little tongue-in-cheek jab at these people?
Well, actually, I kind of have a frog in my throat, but you're exactly right. They aren't really ladies. They are frauds, and they ought to be called out.
I agree with you. I just thought that was so apropos. Here we go. I've got to ask you also, this next part of our conversation, I know you've been following this, and when I heard about this story, I thought, you've got to be kidding me. At Brown University, a major well-known university back east, now students can self-identify. They can choose what or who they are and possibly allow themselves to be considered for grant money just because they self-identify. Did you hear about this?
This is just so out of hand that it's disgusting. I don't know where this world's going to, but it's kind of like I could self-identify when I was in first grade. I knew who I was. I knew what my goal was. I knew what I looked like when I looked in the mirror. I knew that I had to tell the truth. I knew that there were lots of things that I had to be accountable for. Why in the world we're at colleges doing this stupid thing, self-identify and, you know, the zones where you can speak and free speech and you can be concerned. I had pulled an ad, or not an ad, a story that is very similar to what you're talking about that was at UC Berkeley. It's Where We Cry map, shows where students have shed tears and why. And it's like, for crying out loud, are these kindergartners or are they kids in college? And so what if you need to cry? You go and you cry, or you scream and shout, or you kick the tree or something, and then you go forward and get your work done.
I am sitting here just shaking my head as to the lunacy of the liberal mess that's being purveyed and allowed to grow in this country. You know, last night, in adjacency to what we're already talking about, I don't know if you caught this or not, but now in Canada, they are teaching inclusiveness for all the respect for different genders and different sexual perversion and everything. And I'm not exaggerating when I give you these letters. They are all part of the Canadian inclusiveness. IGGBTTTIQUAAPP. I am not kidding. That is supposed to include all the different gender variations and all the different groups of the gays, the lesbians, the transgenders, and everything. This is sick.
Well, it is, and my explanation to that is I'll give you 5 letters, JESUS.
There. Oh, well said. Oh,
you know,
so well said.
If we would follow the golden rule that the Savior Jesus Christ taught, we wouldn't be having this issue. We would all try to be respectful of one another. It wouldn't matter who they're sleeping with or what gender they think they are. We just respect them as people, and we try to be kind and do the kinds of things that good people do, crying out loud.
You know, Rita, in also that, what you just said, though, the left is now making it criminal if you don't respect not knowing all the different genders and all the different pronouns. I mean, that's how insane this movement's getting, to the point where you better put duct tape over your mouth and you better not say the wrong thing.
Well, that's right. And you know what? They would probably be offended if we tried to include them as regulars, and instead we said, okay, well, if you're not just a regular human being like the rest of us, then for different human beings, they'd be mad about that too.
And then the story carried over to something last night that I found a little bit more than nerve-wracking, and that was a story about an editorial in a newspaper that absolutely came out and was advocating the genocide of Caucasians. Did you hear about that?
I did not, but it does not surprise me one bit, because there is so much lunacy and stupidity out there in the world that it just makes you wonder, is it time to head for the bunker so that I don't have to put up with all that crap that's out there?
Well, you know, one thing that I really wondered, and I'm asking a very legitimate question here for anybody to ponder on, but if you ever sat and thought about this, I was thinking about this last night when I was doing chores. If all of a sudden genocide or the removal of Caucasians and whites from this country to where we were all rounded up and locked up or disposed of, what would happen to this country in America? Who or what group would take over? What about the work ethic? What about the drive? What about the motivation? Would it be the Black Lives Matter? Would it be Antifa? Would it be the NAACP? I mean, we're talking complete anarchy here.
Well, that's just it, and it wouldn't last for very long before everything crumbled. And I don't know whether you read it or not. I read it. Many people have read it. It's Atlas Shrugged.
Yes.
And when you start talking about all common sense going out the window, the people that have common sense go and hide and take and do their own thing so that the rest of the world can just stay out there and they're not caught up in having to try to deal with it and try to support it. It's just absolutely crazy that these people are just taking this to the nth degree to where nobody can make any sense of it and shouldn't have to make sense of it. It's just ridiculous that there's not common sense used in most of this stuff anymore.
You know, when someone walks into your store, or if I'm going to be going out selling advertising to someone, I don't care what color they are. I don't care what race they represent. Why can't we have a colorless society and just accept and work with people as to who they are and how they treat people? And I just have never seen such dissension and division since way back in the 60s from Selma, Alabama. I mentioned this to you in another program earlier, but I think division in this country is worse now than ever before thanks to the liberal media.
Well, that's exactly right. And just as an instance of that, I had one of my guys come in the other day, and he said I was down at, I think it was one of the gas stations. He had stopped to get gas, and there was a guy that pulled up next to him, and he got out of his vehicle, and this guy was just totally covered with tattoos from all over his arms, clear up his neck and onto his head and face, and just, he just seemed to me what I would call a freak show, and I'm sorry to hear or to say that if it offends anyone, but this is my point. He asked my service guy, he said, do you guys have any openings for work at your place? And he says, no, we don't, but you could check, and, I gave him 2 or 3 places to check and everything, and when my service guy came back and told me that, I said, it's really sad that they've done that to their body, but I wouldn't want anybody coming in my home that looked like that. It would just make me think, what's the deal with this person? I'm worried about it.
Yeah.
But if he would have had a long sleeve shirt on that covered up the majority of his tattoos, and he still had some up his head that he couldn't cover, of course, but he said, and he points to the tattoos and says, this was a big mistake, and I've covered up the ones that I can, and I realize that I really did something foolish. I need to get a job. I would say, you know what, this guy's got some common sense. He could probably even be dependable.
Yeah.
Because he recognized that he fouled up in his appearance. Well, how can you go with these people where all they're concentrating on is the gender and the sex and this and that and the other? It's like, you know what? I don't want to have anything to do with you. Just where's the common sense?
I couldn't agree more, and we were talking about this the other day with some private business people, and the private business owner or the manager of a business, when he has applicants come in for a respective job, I don't know about you, I do know about you because you've been in business for nigh on to 60 years, and you are very well respected all over southern Idaho, and when you send people out to do a job, you want them representing your company in the most professional manner. I feel the same way about my company. I'm very choosy about who represents me and how they dress and how they act. And every employer has that right. But today, the consciousness of what the employer wants or needs is thrown in the garbage can, and everybody says it's all every man for himself and I'll do whatever I want. That's not the attitude that is going to pervade itself in a professional business. Well,
it isn't, and they expect you to just go with it and tolerate it and everything. And like I said, if they are that way and they've made a mistake and they call that to your attention right first, saying, I know you probably don't like me looking like Lizard Man or something like that, but I made a mistake. I've covered up everything that I can. I want to do what I can do. Give me a chance to show you that I'm responsible, that I'm dependable, that I can take care of you and represent your company. And you may have to do that at every door that you go to do work or whatever, or every customer that you help. And there's nothing wrong with that because it's basically saying, you know what, I have a brain in my head. I'm using it to do what I need to do instead of just pretending like, if you don't accept me for the way I look, then you're the bad guy.
Yeah. And really what you're talking about here absolutely dovetails into the problem with the NFL. The NFL owners, absolutely, they're paying these big multi-million-dollar checks per player per year. I think they have every right in the book to haul those players into their office and say, the next time you sit or kneel during the national anthem, you can guarantee yourself a slam in the back by the door hitting you in the butt as you are fired and leave.
Well, that's exactly right. The big problem is if you would look at what the issues are in the NFL, why does it come down to being against the flag?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're protesting something different, and they're just using that as a lever. And so an employer, if they had any intestinal fortitude, they would say, you know what, I'm in charge here, and this is the way we're going to do it. You all have a right to take off and leave if you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to do it, that's just fine. Out the door. If you're okay and comply with it, all you have to do is be respectful. I've had it brought to my attention a number of times, and it's probably since this NFL thing, where there have been other people from different countries that are playing sports here, and not NFL, but other sports, and it could be with colleges, where they stand up and they're respectful during the national anthem. They're from other countries.
Absolutely.
Why do they even worry about being respectful to us? Because you know what? They're respectful, period.
Absolutely.
And this is what it's all about with these other guys in the NFL. When they're taking a knee, they're just saying, to heck with all of you. And they're putting veterans and military at the top of the list, and anyone who wants to be patriotic right next to them, and all the way down. And it's just in your face. I'm better than you, and I'll do what I want. And just calling all of us a bunch of names. That's what they're doing.
Well, and now some of the players in the NFL, to which I have not watched a full NFL game since the second week of the season. I won't do it. And some of these NFL crybaby wannabes, multimillionaires, are coming out and saying that Colin Kaepernick, listen to these words carefully, Rita, Colin Kaepernick made the ultimate sacrifice by taking a knee. Let me tell you something, you bozos that call yourself athletes. The ultimate sacrifice is a soldier over in Afghanistan or Iraq or anywhere around the globe giving his ultimate sacrifice, his life, for you creeps to take a knee during disrespect of our national anthem.
Well, they're thinking that the ultimate sacrifice is that you're not going to have work. Well, guess what? That's not what it is. It's just
right.
like what you said. These people who sign up for the military saying, I'll go and do what I need to do, even if it means giving my life for my fellow man. And for them to equate that to any of the military or the blue uniforms, the firefighters, any of the people who have given their life for their neighbor is absolutely ridiculous. It's just another in your face.
Absolutely. I've got to do a weather forecast, and then I've got another topic I want to mention to Rita. Stand by. Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane and Company CPAs in Burley and Rupert. Don't forget, they are the best people for your taxes. And don't forget, too, it's about time to get your 1099s and W-2s out and tax planning before the end of the year. They want to thank everybody for their business. Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane and Company, with offices in Burley and Rupert. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Here's your weather as we saddle up and ride again for the final Thursday in November. And honestly, it's going to be relatively nice. Mostly sunny skies for today, expecting a high of 53, a little bit breezy. Winds out of the east-southeast tonight. 20% chance of isolated snow showers in the forecast, mostly up in the higher elevations. Low of 28 for tomorrow as we kick off the weekend. Mostly sunny skies. High of 47. More clouds rolling in for tomorrow night with a low of 30. Saturday, partly sunny skies. High of 50. 30% chance of rain or snow showers in the forecast for Saturday night with a low of 32. That could carry over to Sunday. 30% chance of rain or snow showers in the forecast with a high of 42. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
And I got to turn my microphone on. I've only been in the business 50 years, and I forgot to turn on the button. Here we go. Thank you, Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane and Company CPAs, providing accounting services to the Mini-Cash area for well over 50 years. Thank you very much. Rita, I'm going to mention some names to you, and just tell me if you've ever heard of them. Daddy Yankee.
I have to say I haven't.
How about this one? Childish Gambino.
Well, I've heard the name Gambino. Aren't they like crime people in New York? Like, the mafia or something.
Yeah. All right, try this one.
Italian mafia.
Try these on for size. Little Uzi.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like a machine gun.
Yeah. How about this one? SZA.
That sounds like cartel or something.
Okay, here's the deal. The diversity that's being crammed down everybody's throat is absolutely killing, I think, the Grammy Awards this year. There's been a hue and cry from the Oscars, the Grammys, and everything else. Oh, well, we've got to have more blacks. We've got to have more diversity. We've got to allow some of these other people to get the accolades. I'm going to say right up front that absolutely, if you don't deserve an award, if you haven't sold the records, if you haven't done the job as good as somebody else, what difference does color or diversity mean? Here's some of the people that have been left off the list for the Grammys this year to create more diversity. Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, Taylor Swift, One Dimension, Alicia Keys. Those are excellent entertainers. They've been left off the list to make room for Daddy Yankee and Childish Gambino, etc. This is insane.
Well, it really is. It's a sad deal, and that same type of thing happens, whether it's in police departments, fire departments, businesses, or government businesses, the military, or wherever, when we have to move over and say we have to have a special place for people that are just supposed to be here because of their skin color or their ethnicity or whatever it is. It doesn't matter what they can bring to the table as far as accomplishments or how they can do it. The same thing happens, like I think it was Harvard, that they said that there were so many spots that had to be offered to those who were minorities, mainly speaking about blacks and Hispanics, I believe. It could include others, I suppose. That there weren't people from the Oriental countries who are really brilliant students that could come and get an education. There weren't spots left for them who were willing to pay for it. We got to give the free stuff out to those who don't qualify with their grades or anything else, and then usually they don't even finish the college out. They just struggle along. And so meanwhile, these institutions that are supposed to be great learning institutions become institutions where it's like, well, we don't have everybody graduating. Everybody who goes to college and pays that kind of money and invests that amount of time should be graduating with a degree that will help them to provide for themselves. And so you have that. If they integrate into the fire departments, the police department, or the military, are they people because they were accepted because of their skin or ethnicity? Or are they really qualified to do the job that needs to be done?
Absolutely. And this goes into the coaching ranks, where I've heard the idiocy and incompetency of sports commentators making the statement that, oh, well, there needs to be more blacks in this, or there needs to be more of the other races. Listen, let's just hire people on the merit of their ability and disregard the color of their skin. It should be a colorless society, and making sure the best get the jobs and the cream rises to the top.
Well, it should be, and on that same, note, I was listening to a commentator for sports for just a few minutes the other day, and I could not understand what he was saying. He sounded like he was fresh off of the streets of probably New York and the basketball courts where the inner city kids play, and you could not understand him. And he was a sports commentator on TV, or it wasn't on TV, it was on radio. It was just kind of a recap. And I thought, what in the heck did he even say? How come they have a commentator that can't speak enough English for you to understand what he's saying?
Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying.
You know darn good well that it was that, well, we have to make sure that we have one of these black guys from the inner city that was a ball player, and now he isn't, and because we don't have enough of them in here. Well, you can't understand what they're saying, so they're not doing their job.
Well, real quick, I've got a minute left, and I'm sure that you feel so comforted knowing that the Democratic Party may be nominating Representative Luis Gutierrez of Illinois because he may run for president in 2020. I know you're excited about this.
Yeah, that ought to be real good. If he was an American, a patriot, I would say that's just fine. I don't care what his name is. But he's not. He hates America. He hates America's values. He hates being an American. He wants anything that is free giveaway and just to promote his platform, which is, let's give everything away to people who aren't in our country. And so I'm totally opposed to it, and I think that there's probably enough Trump supporters that would be opposed to it that I would be surprised if he gets very far.
I couldn't agree more. Rita Ramsey, every Thursday. I really enjoy having you on the air. And please run out this afternoon and buy a record album by Little Uzi.
Okay, I think I'll just get out my Kenny G.
Okay, thank you. See you later.
Okay, bye.
Rita Ramsey, I always look forward to having her on the air. Hey, this time of the day on Thursdays, I get really hungry, and I'm starving to death. Yes, I am, but I know where to go. The AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. They've got the pumpkin shakes and the eggnog shakes and the mint chocolate shakes, and they got all kinds of shrimp and fries and chicken fried steak sandwiches. Oh, and the famous Farmer Brown burgers. All of this and more at the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Well, how about Taco Bandito? 2301 Overland in Burley with pumpkin empanadas. Ooh, they are good. And also the breakfast burritos with scrambled eggs, bacon, sausage, cheese, onions, tomatoes, and sauce, all on a tortilla shell. Start your day off right. They are fantabulous. And don't forget, too, they got the new pork burritos. All of this and more at Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Well, Burgers, etc. has 2 locations to serve you, 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. And don't forget, they got a different flavored soup every day of the week. Man, great flavors like chicken wild rice and cream of broccoli and chicken noodle. And on Sundays at the Burley location, shrimp dinner's only $5.99. Burgers, etc. in Rupert and Burley. Well, let's move over to Steve-O's at 290 South, 600 West of Hayburn. Food made the way you love it. Oh, my goodness, don't forget. They've got a salad called the Chaos Salad, chicken breast with bacon, pickles, jalapeno peppers, and all the goodies, lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, everything. It's delicious. And you can download a free app on your smartphone, and you can now order for Steve-O's without going there first, and then stop by, pick it up when it's ready. Hey, you'll love it. Steve-O's in Hayburn. And don't forget, last but not least, our friends at Doc's Pizza, 514 6th Street in Rupert. Hey, you better try to reserve the upstairs for your Christmas party. Great, private, affordable space and great food. Oh, my goodness. They've got homemade soups and chilies, and you know the best in pizza. Wow. All the time, great times, and delicious food. Always delicious food at Doc's Pizza, 514 6th Street in Rupert. And those are just a few places to go if you're hungry and starving to death. And I am. We're going to take a little break right now and run to CBS News and then come on back. We got a lot of things coming up this next hour. Zeb at the Ranch, Wheels, take it away. Oh, my goodness sakes. Good morning, and welcome back to Zeb at the Ranch. And, of course, with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. Get ready for wintertime driving. And also some of our great advertisers, like Western Way Services, always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. Oh, my, we've got a lot of things to do. I want to remind you that dear friend of ours, and he really works for us, and that's Representative Fred Wood from Burley. He cares about you, your family, and he understands Idaho and what our needs are, and he certainly says thank you for letting him represent you, and he wishes you and yours a very Merry Christmas from Representative Fred Wood in Burley. Nice man, very nice man. Also want to remind you that we are looking forward to having our Great Big Denny's annual Christmas party Thursday, December 14th at Denny's, America's Diner, from 8 to 11. We're going to be broadcasting over there live and direct. Door prizes, Santa Claus, and don't forget to register for the Great Big Flex Steel Men's Recliner being donated for us and working with Denny's Restaurant from Lee's Furniture, Floors and More at 459 Overland and Burley. Jeff and the crew, this is going to be exciting. Be sure and stop by and register. All you have to do to get your name in the pot for possibly being drawn on the 14th, eat a meal at Denny's, sign the receipt, put your telephone number on there, and you're going to be all ready to go for the drawing, possibly to be the winner for that beautiful Flex Steel Recliner from Lee's Furniture, Floors and More at 459 Overland in Burley. And Merry Christmas from Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner. Oh, my goodness sakes. And another person that we don't want to forget, wishing you a very Merry Christmas, Speaker of the House, the old John Wayne himself, Scott Bedke. Representative Bedke and his family want to extend to everybody in all of Idaho, and especially right here in the Magic Valley, Merry Christmas wishes from Speaker of the House, Scott Bedke, and his family in Oakley. Thank you very, very much. Ladies and gentlemen, in just a few minutes, we're going to have school days in Cassia County, but I also want to take some time right now to remind everybody that Senator Kelly Anthon, Speaker of the House Scott Bedke, and Representative Fred Wood all teamed together, and they want to wish their constituents all in unison a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And along with those folks, Burley Area Merchants Association, BAMA, B-A-M-A, absolutely. December 4th, starting at 6 p.m. along Overland Avenue in Burley, Santa's going to be arriving by fire truck. Oh, you can hear the siren now, and the big parade, free hot chocolate, donuts at Centennial Park. Oh, this is great, hosted by the Burley Area Merchants Association. And if you want to get in the parade entry information, call Sonia at 670-2408. All of these folks wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Right now it's time for Cassia County School Days as I try to slow the horse down here a little bit and tell everybody that Cassia County School Days brought to you by two great businesses, A Child's World at 1308 Overland and Burley. They've got all the clothing, they've got all the baby furniture, they've got all the games, the puzzles, and the toys. This is a family store. Stop in and see them today and shop locally. Shop at A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. Along with the Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley, saving you money on life-saving colonoscopies, cataract surgery, carpal tunnel surgeries. Give them a call and find out more. 677-8888. Ambulatory Surgery Center and A Child's World, bringing you school days in Cassia County. And my dear friend on the program this morning, I'm looking forward to talking to him, Superintendent of Schools for Cassia County, Galen Smyer. Good morning, Galen. How are you?
Doing well, Zeb. I hope you and Deanne had a great Thanksgiving.
We did. Did you have a chance to have all your family over, or what did you do?
Well, we have a daughter in Utah that only had Thanksgiving Day off, so we gathered up and went to her.
Well, good.
It was a lot of fun, so we had a great Thanksgiving.
Well, before I take over with a lot of questions and everything else about what's going on in Cassia County school system, what about you, the superintendent? What have you got for information that you want to share with everybody?
Well, there are a lot of things going on, and I want to talk about with all the fall sports. They take the cumulative grade point average of each of the students and put that together, and so they have what they call an academic champion for each of the sports in the fall, and then they'll do it for the winter and spring sports to come. But Declo High School football team was the 2A state academic champions, and as you know, a couple of weeks ago, they were named or became the 2A state football champions on the field as well.
Right.
So that's an incredible honor. When you think about the number of people on a football team, That's quite an accomplishment for them to have that kind of an academic achievement.
Let me ask you a question right there, and I am not denigrating any other school or any other school district, nobody, but it seems like Declo really has their act together, and they've got great athletic programs, great students, really taking and paying attention to their grades and their future. Why are they and other schools doing so well? And then you look at many of the other schools across the United States that are just flat falling on their face.
Well, there are a lot of facets to that question, and it's a great one. And it's a combination of quality students, parental support, good education system, teachers. But it takes a mix of all of those things, and kids that are motivated and want to do things. There's too many students who are apathetic about the present and the future, but when they get in and they have goals and direction, they get engaged, they can accomplish some incredible things, and then it's easier for teachers to get in and work with those students and help prepare them for the next portions of their life. And so it's really a good fit, and we have that same thing in our other schools. Just so happens that Declo was academic champions in the fall this year, but last year we had several different academic champions from around the district, and that's been the case in prior years as well. So we're very fortunate and pleased, but it doesn't happen by accident, as you know. It's by design, and it takes a lot of hard work on a lot of people's part.
The reason I brought that up is that yesterday on the program, and I really would like to hear your remarks about this. Yesterday I had a story on the air that was written by Amber Randall. I know Amber. She works for an organization back east called the Daily Caller. And she was talking about, in her story, Ballou High School in Washington, D.C. Now listen to this. The majority of graduating students at this high school, Ballou High School in Washington, D.C., did not attend more than 6 weeks of their high school, but they still managed to get into college, and everybody wants to know how and why. This is ridiculous, missing that much school.
Wow, I don't know, were they doing online school?
No.
In addition to, there's just a number of unanswered questions as you've raised there. I don't know how that could be.
Well, some of the teachers that were queried, as long as they remained anonymous, said this, Galen. They said they felt they had to graduate failing students due to the pressure from the high school administration. This is insane, to put kids out on the street, whether they go to higher learning or not, with absolutely the inability to even add 2 and 2 and read.
Well, that paints us all with a broad brush, because we occasionally hear about people that get into the workplace or aren't able to get into the workplace because they can't read and write, and that becomes a stereotype for a lot of students, and then as a reflection on teachers. But, of course, in this area, that's not the case, and our students are well prepared to move on to post-secondary education and a career.
Well, see, that's why I wanted to bring it up here this morning, is because the differences in what's going on. We always hear the denigration of Idaho education, and I'm sick and tired, and I hope I never see them again, of those pathetic ads that were on television showing a school bus dropping students off in the middle of nowhere as if that's where they're going to be through an Idaho education. Here we have students that are excelling right here in this area, in this district, and then back in Washington, D.C., you have a teacher saying this is the biggest way to keep a community down, to graduate students who aren't qualified, send them off to college unprepared so they return to the community to continue the cycle of doing nothing. That's what's happening, and I think Idaho should be praised for what they're doing.
I would agree. And case in point, Zeb, Lisa Hitt is a math teacher at Oakley High School, and her students have been participating in a Samsung Solve for Tomorrow contest. Well, we were just notified that she's one of 5 finalists in the state, and there were 3,000 applications received, but her and her students were looking at studying flood prevention and preparation. And as you know, last spring we had the entire state was afflicted with the winter that we had and the flooding that followed. But that's just yet another example of a teacher and students taking initiative to apply their learning to a local problem, and I wish her well. I hope she's named the state winner, and if they are, then they'll get $25,000 to use in their school.
Oh, my goodness. Well, see, these are the kind of things that I think we should absolutely keep on the air anytime, all the time, because we've got so many great students. We've got so many great teachers. We've got a lot of great leadership right here in this area. And for some people to denigrate what's going on with our students and everything, when you hear of stories like this Ballou High School in D.C. that are just graduating these kids to get rid of them, that's disgusting. And we've got a lot to be proud of here.
We do have a lot to be proud of, but the societal problems that we face and that cost us all are perpetuated in part by that kind of behavior. So we're fortunate to live where we do.
Okay, I'm going to turn the ball over to you on your side of the court. Any last thoughts this morning or any other stories you want to highlight before I have to say goodbye?
Well, just on the news just ahead of us, speaking with each other, it was mentioned that student increases in some of the area schools had Cash at 73 and listed Twin Falls and some others. And I just want to report that our plans are to move into the new Declo Elementary School and the Raft River High School, finish moving in there prior to Christmas, so that we're ready in those schools after the first of the year. We're excited for those new buildings to come online, and they're beautiful. And sometime when time permits, I'd love to take you on a tour of what we've been able to accomplish.
I would love to do it. I would love to do it. And you being a good friend of mine, for good heavens, do you realize we've known each other for nigh on to 30-plus years?
It's the plus, maybe plus.
Okay. Listen, from my family to your family, and you've always been so kind to us and everything, Deanna and I want to wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas, and thank you for being on the program this morning.
You're very welcome, and right back to you. Merry Christmas to you and yours and to your listeners.
God bless you. Galen Smyer, the superintendent of schools, Cassia County, a dear friend, and I really enjoyed talking to him. Right now, I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, as do the great folks with Dot Foods. My goodness sakes, yes, Dot Foods at 1541 West 27th and Burley. Did you know they are the nation's #1 food industry redistributor? That's right, the largest in the United States. And they've got great employees, great drivers, and they want to say thanks to you, the folks right here in the Magic Valley. Dot Foods, wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Along with our good old buddy Tim and the crew at Streamline Precision, you know, they can build anything. They can manufacture all that you need, and everything you need to do or find out about is right there under one roof. They're also experts in excavation. They can help you save on steel buildings with their expertise in manufacturing and contracting. Streamline Precision. Hello, Tim. 120 South, 100 West of Burley, 678-9204. And another note for Christmas from Streamline Precision that I really thank them for. They want to encourage you to go up to a person in uniform, take the time to say thank you, shake their hand, and tell them how much you appreciate them. These men and women put their lives on the line every day so that we can live in the best country in the world, America. Thank you, Streamline Precision, Tim and the crew at 120 South, 100 West of Burley, and they wish you a very Merry Christmas. In just a few moments, we're going to be going over to Barry Equipment and Rental, and we're going to be talking to the good guys over there. Juan's going to give us kind of a guided tour of what's going on. But before we go there, I want to remind you about the Bennett boys going to have a great big auction this Saturday over in Gooding, the Allen Wilding auction. It's going to start at 11 o'clock on this Saturday, December 2nd, located in Gooding at 203 3rd Avenue West in Gooding. Joe and the crew crew of the Bennett boys going to bring down the gavel at 11 o'clock, and lunch is going to be served right there on the ground. They're going to have a lot of antique furniture and antique glassware. Man, I'm looking at some of the pictures of this. This is a long time ago and in excellent condition. So be sure and check it out. They've also got assorted horse tack and lots of antiques over at this Allen Wilding auction this coming Saturday, December 2nd at 11 a.m. in Gooding, managed by the Bennett Boys Auction Service. No sale too big, no sale too small. For the Bennett Boys, they sell them all. 5390111 for more information. Oh, my goodness. Let's see what else have I got cooking here. I'll talk about that in just a minute. But right now, let's see if old Wheels has got my buddy on the phone. Juan, are you there over at Berry Equipment and Rental?
I am. How you doing today?
You know what? I felt bad when you were over at Kimberly that night for the football game. I still have never met you face to face. We've only talked on the radio, and I could have thrown popcorn at the wrong person trying to say hello to you, but I still haven't met you and shook your hand.
Oh, we'll meet one of these days. We've been in the same building a couple times. We just haven't ran into each other yet.
Well, what's going on at Berry Equipment and Rental?
Well, all our skidsters and excavators right now are still up and ready to work for this winter. Just because it's getting cold outside right now doesn't mean that you can get away from work, because we have all the equipment you need to keep you going.
Well, now, when you say all the equipment you need, now, come on, Juan. I mean, people are driving down the road saying, oh, yeah, give us an instance. Tell us a little bit about your inventory.
Well, we just got done putting cutting edges on all of our buckets and new teeth, so whenever you need to go dig something up or you're getting ready to push that snow, we have the right equipment for that. And also, if you can't work outside, we got everything that you need the inside, from compressors and nail guns and carpet cleaners, the whole 9 yards.
Now, when you started there at Berry Equipment and Rental, how long have you been there?
Going on 4 years now.
Now, when you started there, did you have kind of a basis of information and experience on how to run everything, or was it kind of like, look out, boys, here comes Juan?
I had a pretty good idea. I grew up on a farm east or west of Paul, so I had a pretty good idea on how to run all the equipment.
Okay, and if people come in there and they're a little shy and they say, well, gee whiz, I've never run a Bobcat before, I don't know how to do this, or I don't know how to run that, what do you tell them?
It's no problem. I just go put on a safety vest so you can see me, and we go down in the pit and we show you how to run it. And we just let you go out and, get a feel from it, because I can explain it how it works, but you'll get a better feel for it if you go inside and run it.
Okay, so you're basically going to give them a crash course, maybe that's a bad word, on how to run the equipment so they can go home and be comfortable with the job that they have to finish.
Absolutely. Get a good feel on how to move the boom so you can dig a hole, and how to move the joystick so you can push the dirt, snow, whatever you got going that you need to move.
You keep mentioning snow. What do you know that I don't know?
Oh, it's coming. I woke up this morning to feed my cows, and their hair on top of their head were all frost.
Uh-oh, so that's an indicator that, look out, boys, you're going to be pushing snow before too long.
Yeah.
Well, now, tell us a little bit about the deals. I mean, what about Bobcats? What about interest on the machines? Tell us about the sales. Tell us about the rental. How do they go about doing all this stuff?
Well, we have a couple of options. You can go ahead and lease a machine for 3 years, and then you can trade it in or keep it after that. And we also have a couple of deals with 0% interest for the 48 months. And
okay.
That's on all of our Bobcat equipment and Doosan.
Okay. And what about all 3 locations? Does every location, like in Jerome and Twin and you at Burley, do they all have kind of a sandbox out behind them so they can help people?
They have little ones, but I have the biggest one here in Burley.
Okay. And why don't you give us the locations by their address so we can, all over the valley, send people into Berry Equipment and Rental?
The Berry Equipment and Rental store off 465 Addison Avenue in Twin Falls. That's the main location. And then we have the one in Jerome off Lincoln Avenue, right as soon as you get off that second exit. And then you have the 159 West Highway 30 here in Burley, Idaho.
Is Eli still there in Twin?
Oh, yeah, he is.
You know, him and I, we are kind of crying in our crying towels because it doesn't look like the Green Bay Packers are going to go anywhere this year.
Well, they got farther than my 49ers, so.
Boy, that's to say. Okay, what are the hours that you're open over there at Barry Equipment and Rental?
Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 5:30, and then Saturdays from 8 to 5.
Okay, and you're all decorated up for Christmas and ready to welcome everybody in there, right?
Oh, yeah, we're ready to go.
Have you got all your Christmas cookies that you made yourself and baked at home you're going to give out to your customers?
Well, I want the customers to keep coming back, so I'm not going to give them my cookies. I'll give them my wife's cookies.
You're a smart man, and especially bragging on your wife, because I remember one program where you got in a little hot water.
I did. Okay. I did, and he listens to it every time now. So.
Okay, well, Mrs. Juan out there, I'm telling you, he did a good job today. Treat him nice tonight when he comes home. Make him a nice hot meal. See, I got everything all smoothed over for you.
I appreciate it.
God bless you, Juan. Thanks so much over at Barry Equipment and Rental.
Hey, thanks. Have a good Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, too. Thank you. Very nice people. Barry Equipment and Rental, Jerome, Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. You know what? There's another business that I really enjoy going into, and that's Sportsman's Warehouse, 1940 Bridgeview in Twin Falls. Oh, ho, ho. I'm sounding like Santa Claus. Ho, ho, ho. Well, this is the place to go for your Christmas shopping. They've got everything for everybody on your list. I mean, you're looking for knives? They've got all the knives. You're looking for different kind of outdoor clothing? They've got all the outdoor clothing. Something for the hunter in the shooting and the archery and the fishing. It's all there. Everything. And expert people in every department, man. That is really helpful to help you. And don't forget the Bucks and Bulls contest ends December 31st, and it's the 12th annual Bucks and Bulls will be on January 20th. I got to brag a little bit. My number 2 grandson has his elk horns ready to go on display for that. Oh, yeah. At Sportsman's Warehouse, 1940 Bridgeview in Twin Falls. You stop in and see Reese and the staff. They wish you a very Merry Christmas. Right now, let's send it back over to Wheels. I'll be back in about 3 minutes.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
And a good morning to you. Hope you're having a great day out there. A lot of people going Christmas shopping and getting in the spirit right now. Going to be nice weather-wise. Actually, it's not going to be too bad over the next couple of days. Zeb at the Ranch, I'm Zeb Bell, with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you, along with all of our 7 locations. Of course, the very best in tires and Western Waste, some of our great advertisers. We're all here, along with our other great sponsors on Zeb at the Ranch. Right now, we're going to go to the phone line, and I don't think I've ever had this lady on my program before. She is the executive director with Wind Action, and I hope I say her name right. I want her to correct me if I don't. Lisa Linowes, how are you?
I'm fine. You're close. It's Lino's.
Oh.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it's my pleasure to have you on the program this morning. I read a little bit of the piece called Wind Energy and Tax Reform. It's past time, but why don't you give us a thumbnail sketch as to where you're coming from on wind energy, if you would please, Lisa.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the wind industry has been around for a long time. And our issue with it, and we have raised concerns repeatedly, my involvement actually started back in 2004, over the fact that the industry has not been able to operate without public subsidies, substantial, considerable subsidies. And the federal government has been funding largely the wind industry since 1992, before that even, but the current subsidy that has been in place and that is driving most of the development of wind turbines has been in place since 1992, and it now is reaching just around $5 billion a year. This is effectively a tax that all of us are paying into to support the development of wind energy facilities. And this, after 25 years now, the industry still is unable to build a wind project without public support.
Absolutely.
And we're saying enough is enough. We either turn off the spigot and allow the industry to just, it will continue or it will collapse. But at this point, it's had time to decide whether it's going to make it on its own, and clearly it has not been able to.
You know, Lisa, you are talking to a friend on this issue. I have looked at the wind energy, and I've called every one of their ugly cancers on the land, sticks that are up in the air with their propellers. I think it's absolutely a waste of time, energy, and my taxpayer money. I would do anything to support you into making them be self-supportive and not taking the dollars out of my billfold.
I so appreciate hearing that, and especially in a state like Idaho where you're situated. I mean, most of your energy, electricity generation, is powered by hydroelectric.
That's right.
And yet we're being told we need to back off on the hydro and build the wind.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so what do we do? I mean, I know most of the people in my audience are as livid about this as I am. They take over the landscape, and you would think the environmentalists would jump up and start tearing their hair out and mashing their teeth and saying, oh, look what's happened to the environment, all these ugly cancers on the landscape, but they don't say anything, and this power is absolutely worthless.
You're absolutely right. The time of day and time of year when wind is most likely generating would be at night when our requirements for energy, electricity, is actually very low, and that's consistent across the country. But the environmental movement has largely been working side by side with the industry. We've had a lot. That's probably been our most difficult in trying to convince that there are impacts. And, we're seeing with the pushback we get is that the global warming issue is much greater than protecting or preserving any one location. And so build the project because in the long run it will get us closer to resolving the climate change issue. But the reality is wind energy doesn't produce reliably enough to actually get us off coal, get us off any of the resources that the environmental movement's trying to get us off of. And so we still are building gas plants. We're still going to rely on fossil fuel. It's not going to make a difference.
Lisa, I've used this equation on my program in the past, and I'll stand behind it. I'm not going to be yelled at by anybody to back off. The wind energy program in this country is nothing more than an old western town of false front buildings. A lot of show, but no go.
Absolutely. I love that analogy, and that's where we're at. And the fascinating thing about the wind industry, and I've just been head-to-head with them, again, since 2004, is that they have a war room. This is an industry that is highly coordinated. They have the American Wind Energy Association that will go after and personally attack anyone who raises concerns or suggests that there's an issue with wind energy. And they don't hesitate to pound on any of us that raises the concerns. They've got millions of dollars. Largely, it's funded by the wind industry, which is funded by, in part, our tax dollars.
Yep.
Being used against us. And so it's very difficult to fight the industry. And in the end, what it took was getting us to this point of 85,000 megawatts of wind now operating in the United States. That is tens of thousands, more than that, and hundreds of thousands of acres have been consumed by turbines, to the point where now people notice them and they're having to live with them in their neighborhoods, and people are noticing this is not good for them. It's not generating good electricity, and it's harming communities.
Absolutely. When you hear the moo of the cow on my program, Lisa, it means there's a caller waiting to call in and ask a question. Good morning, caller. Keep it short. Go ahead, please.
Now, you said we've subsidized it. Is it $5 billion a year, or has it been $5 billion since 1992 when we started? Quickly, when they put these turbines in Idaho, I don't remember. I'm a pretty involved guy, and I don't remember ever having any kind of an open meeting that was going to say whether or not we wanted them or not. and then there would probably nothing would have ever been said about subsidizing this, and it would have never been said probably unless we forced it out of them. And then also, quickly, there are 15 to 20 million of the, 15 to 20,000, of these things that are broke down across America, and they're not worth fixing, and in some cases they're literally falling down and crashing onto the environment. I'll hang up.
Respond to the caller, Lisa, because I assumed, and I think I'm correct, that you said it was $5 billion in subsidies annually. Isn't that correct?
Annually. That's correct. That is what it has reached by now. And the way the subsidy works is that for every kilowatt hour of generation that a turbine puts on the grid, it is paid 2.4 cents. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot of money, but when you have 85,000 megawatts of generation, that has reached a point where it's $5 billion a year. It wasn't always that high. Even just a few years ago, it was about $1.5 billion a year, but because there's been such an exponential construction of new wind, particularly in the last 5 years, that's what's pushed us up to that point. Because it's every time it puts energy on the grid, they get paid.
Yeah, and here's
the federal government in the form of tax credits.
Here's another thing that really
a price we're paying.
Here's another thing that really irritates.
Subsidy is paid over a 10-year period. So if your project went online in 2015, you'll get that until 2025.
Oh, my goodness. I didn't mean to interrupt you. We had a little delay there. I apologize for stopping on top of you. Here's another thing that I want to ask you about, and I think I'm right on this, but the wind energy people, and these absolutely revolting politicians that are pushing this down our throat, isn't it a demand to, like, our Idaho Power here in the state of Idaho, that they are forced and coerced to have to buy and pay for that power from wind energy?
Yes, that is the case under an act or a law that was put into place back in 1978-79 timeframe called PURPA. And don't ask me what the acronym stands for, but it mandates that renewable energy in some small and also some gas plants, that the utilities are required to allow those facilities to get their energy to market. Which means, and the way that happens is that the utilities are obligated to sign contracts with these facilities. Now, Idaho's been ahead of the game compared to some other states, and your utilities have raised concerns about the cost and the mandates. But in other states, you're absolutely right. They are required in states that are not that they're required under PURPA to allow for that power to get to market and to pay for that power.
Since the beginning of this idea, I can remember vividly when some people called me on this program and wanted me to support this wind energy, and I absolutely said at that time, and I'll keep on saying, that every one of those that are erected I call cancer sticks on the landscape. I hate them. I want to see each and every one of them topple like dominoes. But why? Why doesn't the American public understand, Lisa, that we are being gouged $5 billion a year that we're paying for, and we're not getting any return on our investment?
That has been a question we've been asking for a long time. I mean, and part of it is, again, is the American Wind Energy Association and the industry has been effective at marketing itself. Renewable energy, if you attack renewable energy, it's akin to, attacking apple pie and baseball and all the things that are good and American. And that's part of the issue. No one wants to be caught doing that. And so we're people who are not living near these turbines. I mean, there is a large part of the population that's never seen a wind turbine, and they've certainly never seen hundreds of them on the landscape. You will never see an advertisement from the wind industry that shows hundreds of turbines, and that's what we're talking about. I have here in New Hampshire, where I'm located, we have one project with 33 turbines. That's small on the scale of what a lot of other projects are built on. But it crosses 4 mountaintops. It has a road the size of an interstate to deliver, to access these turbines, and filled in countless acres of wetlands. I mean, no environmentalist would stand by and allow that to happen.
Absolutely.
And people are realizing the amount of development that had to go into to build this project. The scar in the landscape is, it's unbelievable.
I agree.
But people don't realize that's part of the problem.
We've got another caller with a question. Go ahead, caller, quickly, please.
You bet. Just one question about the carbon footprint for each wind turbine. Isn't that greater than that on the environment than what just coal fire or gas fire energy? I'll hang up.
Go ahead, Lisa, if you would, please.
Yeah, that's a really good question. We've been trying to actually get our specific numbers on that, and the question is, from the point when you build the turbine, all of the energy that's consumed to build the turbine, transport the turbine components, actually erect it and get it running, are you emitting more carbon in that process than what the turbine would actually save while it's running? We don't really have good numbers on that. The wind industry will argue that it's a matter of months that is all accounted for, or rather offset. And that's hard to imagine that's the case, but to be honest with you, we don't really have good numbers on that. And if the question we always ask is, at what point is a wind project going to decommission a coal or fossil fuel generated facility?
Right.
That's what we're not seeing. That has never happened.
Lisa,
that can't happen because wind is intermittent and not reliable.
Absolutely. Lisa, I'm just a simple, big, dumb old cowboy from Idaho, but I don't understand why more people aren't outraged, and they go up to their congressmen or their senators and grab them by the short end of the necktie and say, listen, what are you doing charging me $5 billion a year to a project that is not ever going to be able to pay for itself? I can't imagine why more people aren't outraged at our politicians for being so doggone dumb.
Thank you for asking that question. Your guess is, we can only say that it's largely people don't know, and that there's a fantasy belief out there that if we just put a few turbines up, we'll be carbon free. And part of the question I struggle with is, why don't people understand the scale of, in terms of the amount of energy it takes to run this country and the economy that we have. A few turbines won't do it. 85,000 megawatts of turbines doesn't even come close to that. That's about 5% of the energy we consume in this country.
Wow.
If we want to look at that, when you measure against the amount of landscape that had to be consumed, it's simply not worth it. Simply not worth it. And my opportunity to speak with you today and reaching your audience is so helpful to get that message out, and I appreciate that.
Well, I am going to keep your name on file. I am going to have you back in the future because, boy, I tell you, if there's any subject that makes me fighting mad, it's the stupidity of wind energy and all those cancers on the landscape. Thank you, Lisa Linos, she's the executive director of Wind Action, and I want to wish you and your family and everybody connected with your movement a very Merry Christmas, and please come back in the future. I'd really enjoy it.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that, and same to you and your audience.
Thank you. A very knowledgeable lady, and believe me, I'm going to keep in touch with her and get more facts and figures about this. I can't stand that wind energy. Every time we go to Boise, I look off to the west and I see those cancers on the landscape, and I wonder how. How did they ever pull this over on the American public and then get subsidized $5 billion with a B dollars a year out of your and my pocket? Ay, ay, ay. Calm down, Zeb. Better have the weather right now. Brought to you by Scarro's Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome, with Don Scarrow and the crew. Number to call, 324-7657. Or you can go to their website, scarrowmeats.com. I'm looking at the list here. I got to tell you this. Marinated prime rib. Oh, Deanne, please, can we go get one soon? Marinated prime rib, or smoked hams and smoked turkeys and all kinds of different bacons and bratwurst. Great eating from Scarrows Meats in Jerome. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Here's your weather as we saddle up and ride again for the final Thursday in November. And honestly, it's going to be relatively nice. Mostly sunny skies for today, expecting a high of 53, a little bit breezy. Winds out of the east-southeast tonight. 20% chance of isolated snow showers in the forecast, mostly up in the higher elevations. Low of 28 for tomorrow as we kick off the weekend. Mostly sunny skies. High of 47. More clouds rolling in for tomorrow night with a low of 30. Saturday, partly sunny skies. High of 50. 30% chance of rain or snow showers in the forecast for Saturday night with a low of 32. That could carry over to Sunday. 30% chance of rain or snow showers in the forecast with a high of 42. That is your weather for Zebedee.
And thank you, Gina. Great job. Brought to everybody by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. Number to call, 324-7657. They are changing the way we eat one delicious bite at a time. Scarrows Meats. Holy cow, got a little bit of time here. First time all morning I've had a little extra time. I don't know what to do with it. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. While I'm waiting for your call, I want to remind you again, and this is really important, that in just a matter of a couple of weeks we're going to be over at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner at 611 North Overland in Burley for our great big Denny's annual Christmas party. We're going to be broadcasting live and direct. That's better than the alternative, dead and direct. From 8 to 11 all that morning. Door prizes, Santa Claus, and register for the recliner. What am I talking about? Well, Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More with Jeff and the crew. They've teamed up with us, and they've donated a beautiful Flex Steel men's recliner that you can stop into Denny's right now, buy a meal, and then take your receipt up to the front desk and sign it, put your phone number on it. Right now, they'll put it in the box, and you might be the lucky winner. The drawing's going to be on December 14th during my program at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, Zeb, I guess you can hear me good. I'm kind of having trouble hearing you, but it isn't you. It's not your station. It's my fault. Hey, the other night I was watching briefly the Ravens and the Texans playing in Baltimore. And I really hadn't paid any attention because I really wasn't watching it. But I wanted to check the score here and there to see if it was close. And it was kind of close. And so I was checking it out, and I noticed that as they showed the game, they would show the stands. And it looked to me like there was just an unbelievable amount of empty seats. And you would have thought in Baltimore that those people would be as good a fans as any. But I guess across America, some of these football stadiums, there's not anybody in them. The ratings are down, and these players are continuing to protest.
Yeah, and I'll be the first to go along with you, Randy. I'm sorry, we got a little feedback here. I'm sorry, I couldn't hardly hear you there for a minute. But I'll be the first to go along with you and say, good. I'm glad to see the NFL suffering. I'm glad to see that the revenues are down. I'm glad to see that some of the advertisers are pulling away. I'm glad to see these empty seats in the stadium, because it's about time America stood up and said to these pampered prima donna, overpaid, underworked athletes, enough is enough. Respect this country and our flag, or get out of Dodge City.
Well, if we're going to spend $100 million to somehow buy this, an end to this, $100 million. The brand new stadium in Fort Collins, Colorado, just to give you a little perspective, a brand new state-of-the-art stadium. I mean, that thing is a beauty. 41,000 seats. Beautiful brand new stadium, cost $220 million.
Yep.
$220 million. And we're going to spend $100 million to try to appease these prima donnas. $100 million. I mean, we lose track of how much money this is.
I could not agree with you more, and I thank you. Randy, next Monday, call me back on this subject again, because I'm going to see what the ratings are, and I'm also going to see what the decline in seats of fans will be over this weekend. We'll talk more about it then. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you bet.
All right, sir. Merry Christmas, too, by the way. By the by, I got to quickly get this in about our major sponsor, and they've been riding the horse with us for a long time on this program. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations. Just a minute, caller. I'll be right there. Get ready for wintertime driving, all the muck, the yuck, the ice, the snow, everything. And they've got all the tires to get you safely through all those different conditions for your car, your pickup, your SUVs, all the tire chains. Oh, my goodness. And the best in brake service and front-end alignment, shocks and struts, and batteries. Batteries. Make sure you got a good battery, and they've got the best at any one of the 7 locations of your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Lane in Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley. The best, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. I've got a minute left, caller. Go ahead real quick.
You bet. Why don't the NFL tell the players, okay, we'll match what you put up for these problems that you say exist? We're not going to pay for it. We'll match what you put up. You guys put your money where your mouth is.
That would be a first.
Wouldn't it?
And with their big mouths, that would be a cavernous pit that could not be filled up with money.
Then they couldn't buy those big gold chains that they wear around. They've got to keep tucking back in as they're playing, or the big diamond earrings they got in.
Amen. Amen, brother. Hey, listen, Merry Christmas to you and your family. I can't wait for next Monday. God bless you, man. Thanks so much.
Okay, Merry. And remember, let's take care of our seniors.
Absolutely.
Season.
Absolutely.
Do what we can for them.
Doug, thank you so much. I got to run. News next from CBS, but I want to remind everybody, have a safe, sane weekend. Enjoy Christmas shopping. Enjoy the family situations. Enjoy everything of the season. Zeb at the Ranch. I'll be back next Monday at 8:06. And remember, the way things were are the way things ought to be.